Jim Kwik, the world's top leading brain coach, to me, the one and only brain coach out there. I am so thankful for your book because it's gotten me through my entire quarantine. I want to know for you, Jim Kwik, how do you manage your mind these days?
So right now I'm using, first of all, hello to everyone who's watching this, and my heart and everything. I wish you safety. I wish you strength and everything that you need right now. I'm using the metaphor, Jeannie, of like a butterfly. It feels like the butterfly is an amazing symbol, a profound symbol of transformation. And just when the caterpillar feels like it's in the end of the world, it becomes that butterfly. And we talk about cocooning, where we're physically distancing ourselves. And while the beauty is in the butterfly, the growth happens in the cocoon. And, when we are physically distancing ourselves, and I use the term physically distancing ourselves because right now you and I are being social. I want to make sure people aren't mentally distancing themselves or emotionally distancing themselves because, we need that to nourish us. And so as we're cocooning, we might be alone with our doubts. We might be alone with our fears. We might be even feeling alone. And loneliness is a challenge right now for a lot of people. So in my book, Limitless, I have this quote from a French philosopher. You would appreciate it. It says, "Life is the C between B and D." Life is the C between B and D, and B is birth and D is death. C, life, is choice. So what are the choices we can make? Because I believe difficult times now, they could define us, or these difficult times, they could diminish us, but also these difficult times can develop us. We can make decisions. And so 5 areas we can make decisions on. And now, first of all, I would say be kind to yourself because we've never experienced what we're experiencing right now. We're going through a whole range of emotions. And so who's to say, what you should do? But I'm saying here's some 5 choices we can make. So first, 5 C's. Number 1 is clarity. This is a wonderful time for all of us. Sometimes we're just studying all the time or working all the time, but rarely do we get a pause to say, racing this car, are we going in the right direction? And a good clarity question is, what's most important to me in my life? What's most important to me in my work or in my education? What's most important to me in my relationships? What's most important to me in my contribution or my art? And then once you ask yourself that question, ask yourself a second question, which is, are my actions aligned with those values? Because some people, I feel like they say they're burnt out because they're doing too much. Maybe we're not burnt out because we're doing too much. Maybe we're burnt out because we're doing too little of things that make us feel alive.
Yeah.
Things that really juice us and light us up. So are our actions align with those values? The second C, besides clarity, I would say we can make a choice on is care. We know that self-care and self-love is not selfish. And, self-love is just, it's the ability to look into the mirror and see that person who's looking back at you, who's been through so much, but is still standing, really honoring that, right? And not just physical hygiene. We know we should wash our hands and sanitize everything 6 feet, but also mental hygiene. What are you putting into your mind on a regular basis? Because it has an algorithm like Instagram. You and I talked about this, that on your podcast, that if you just engage with every cat post or watch every cat video, the algorithm is going to show you a lot more cats. Well, if you're watching the news all the time and everything that's dark and scary and threatening, your mind has that algorithm and it's going to start showing you more of that. The challenge is chronic fear. It suppresses our immune system, makes us more susceptible. So we have to control what's going in. And positivity, while negativity and fear and viruses are contagious, so is positivity and everything else, and kindness. So that's care. Take care of yourself. And you and I, we've talked about the best brain foods and how to optimize your sleep and everything else. The third C, I would say really quickly, clarity, care, is contribution. Contribution. This is all about is the antidote to fear is service. So how can everyone watching invest some of their time or their talent or their treasure to make a difference? Like I made sure right before I got on that I made, my donation, to this wonderful cause, because I feel like, what can we do? And it could be as simple as making a call to a neighbor who might be a little bit more vulnerable and alone. Maybe it's making some food for some frontline, workers, but how can we contribute, in a way, and that will help us also. And so, because we'll get out of fear. So clarity, care, contribution, and finally, creativity. Creativity, meaning people might not know, but it was during the Great Plague that Shakespeare was so creative. He created Macbeth during the Great Plague. Isaac Newton had to go home, physically distance himself, and he had to, he created Antony and Cleopatra. So what can we create? What music? What poetry? And also competency. The last one is competency. What can you learn? You have a to-do list, but you have a to-learn list. What do you want to read? Salsa, Spanish, everything's on YouTube and everything.
Oh, Jim, that's so much advice and so many gems that are just good for life, not just during this quarantine. How can people get in touch with you? Because I know that you're just so hands-on with advice and nuggets on how people can improve their lives right now. Where can we reach you?
Everybody really, they take a screenshot of this conversation if they're watching this right now. One of the best ways to learn something is to teach. Take a screenshot and tag Jeannie, tag myself, at Jim Kwik, and, tag everyone who's putting this event on. And then I will actually repost some of my favorites and share like one thing that you're going to do, just one small thing to make things a little bit brighter. I believe that's really the key to this. And then I'll actually gift one of these books to somebody as a thank you. And my final words for everybody that's here is remember, no one does it alone. Asking for help is a sign of strength. I'm sending prayers and love and to anyone who especially needs it, because you inspire people with your grit and your grace. Because the truth is, none of us really know how much somebody else is hurting. We could be standing right beside somebody who feels broken or facing the battle of their lives and have no idea. So be kind always. Kindness is free, so sprinkle that stuff everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. You sprinkled that on us today. Thank you so much. Everybody get the book Limitless. Start working on your cocoon right now and coming out the monarch that you are. Thank you, Jim.
Jeannie.